Hey folks, we're up here in Ladera Ranch at an abandoned bank building. I'm here with Orange County Fire Authority PIO Larry Kurtz doing some training up here. Nice to be here with you folks. What exactly are you doing here and how were you able to get this building?
Well, thanks for joining us this morning. This building was donated to us by the managers of the building. It's going to be demolished and replaced by another building. So they asked us if we wanted to do some fire training on it. And the Orange County Fire Authority, we look forward to any opportunity to do this training. So what we're doing here is we're actually setting small fires within the building, and we're practicing our attack methods and using a thing called air track control. Now, this is a different way of fighting fires in that we actually close the door behind us when we enter a building. And people would think, that's crazy. Why would you want to do that? What it does, it cuts the oxygen off from the main body of the fire and actually slows down the fire, cuts down the heat that we're going to have to deal with, and enables us to better put out the fire. We also have props inside on firefighter entrapment and wall breaching. So we're having practice on rescuing firefighters inside the building in case one of us gets in trouble.
And as you were telling me earlier, that the opportunity to be able to do this, your training facilities are great, but to be in a real building that has hallways and all kinds of different things really helps with the training process, doesn't it?
Oh, certainly. There are elements of a building that you can't mimic in training simulations. Things like the way the building is laid out, the way the fire manages, the way the smoke production goes all the way to the floor, and actually having to knock through walls of actual buildings. It increases the potential for us to learn a lot more. It increases the realism for us. So when the real thing comes along, we're going to be ready to go.
And what's interesting is that you're both creating the fire and you're creating the smoke with the smoke machine, sort of opposite of really what you're trained to do, but necessary in creating a real-life event.
Yes, it's an unusual thing for people to hear that the fire authority is starting a fire. We start them, we put them out, and then this afternoon we're going to do it again.
So again, exactly what you're doing here is a kind of a new technique, or has it been used before in other places?
This was experimented on by the New York Fire Department back east. They experimented on some of their abandoned buildings on a thing called door track management. It was called Transitional Attack. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that thing's a little bit unusual, but what normally happens is we enter a building, we go into to fight the fire. Up on top of the roof, a truck company goes up on top of the roof, cuts a hole in the roof, all the smoke and all the heat comes up and out and enables the firefighters inside to find the fire and put the fire out. But what happens when we actually pull back that roof is we're actually feeding more oxygen to the fire, and for a brief moment we're accelerating the burn. So we're actually allowing it to grow bigger in order to put it out. What this is we're actually shutting the door behind firefighters after we enter the building, and it snuffs out the fire. The heat is still there, the smoke is still there, but the fire doesn't have the oxygen to get larger. And so that's what we're experimenting with here today.
Now, does that mean that if this technique proves successful, even in going to inside a house fire, that they won't ventilate the roof, or will they still do that at some point?
We will still have truck companies up on the roof to ventilate, but the first thing we want to do is we want to try and limit the damage to a fire. Sure, we want to put the fire out, but we want to do it with causing as least damage to the house as possible. And if we can get inside and put out the fire without having to cut a hole in the roof, which, as those of you know, are a little bit of an expensive thing to replace, if we can do that with limiting the damage, that's our primary goal here.
So how long is the training process going on? Is it just today, or is this something ongoing that you can see happening over the next months?
We'll be here today. Of course, you're here for the first exercise, so we'll be doing it all day today and most of tomorrow as well.
All right. And again, the opportunity to get a real building like this to do this, I know it's happened in the past. You're able to do that, but it's few and far between, right?
Yes, it's a very rare opportunity. We have to do a lot of permitting. We have to make sure everything is safe. The Air Quality Management District has to okay it. Plus, we have to make sure this area is secure and make sure that all the firefighters and the people in the area are safe. And once all those dots are aligned and we take care of all those things, then we can go forward with the training. So yes, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, we're going to jump on that opportunity and go for it.
Yeah, and I want to mention on the way up here, along the local streets here, there are definitely signs up. A lot of different companies are involved. They're coming in from all over the area?
Yes, it's not just the companies from the area here around Lake Forest. We have companies from as far away as San Clemente and Yorba Linda coming in to participate in this training.
Yeah, great opportunity again. And you have your great training facility up there in Tustin, your headquarters. There's one in Irvine. But to be able to do this, to be on scene, and you are mimicking an actual event, right? You have someone that is an incident commander. You even have your own photographer here and your battalion chiefs, right?
That's absolutely right. The first unit comes on scene, and the captain, usually the guy wearing the red hat, comes on scene. He becomes the incident commander, and we're following this thing through as if it were an actual incident. Other units are coming in a couple minutes at a time, and he assigns those units, some to fire attack, some to search and rescue, some are going to be up on top of the roof doing ventilation. Every company coming on scene is assigned a particular job in a particular area of the building to put this fire out as quickly as possible.
Are they, in a training like this, are you looking at not only using this new technique, but also evaluating the crews and how they perform?
Absolutely. We have veteran firefighters here on scene and can always use more practice. We're never done training in the fire service. You can be in this business for 30 years. You're never done learning. And we have new firefighters within our firefighter family who just came out of the academy, eager to show their skills to the veteran firefighters and eager to show how much they've learned in the academy. And so we're going to put them through their paces.
Well, Larry, we really appreciate you and all the Orange County Fire Authority for allowing us to come up here. It's a great opportunity to show the community exactly the kind of training, the fact that you're always trying techniques to fight fires safer and more efficiently.
Absolutely. And again, the Orange County Fire Authority is very grateful to the city of Lake Forest for allowing us to do this training exercise and the owners of the building.
All right, thanks again.
Thank you very much.